Good morning, and thank you for joining us all across the globe. We're very happy to see you. We hope that everyone is safe and warm. And I was just looking at some reports, and there are a lot of power outages. So let's remember our brothers and sisters and those, and also the animals that are maybe out in the cold or trying to get their power restored. We're going to work with you this morning. I have thought about several different things, and the first thing that came to my mind was ideas. So we're going to hit right to it. And for those that are writing, I want you to write the concept of ideas. Now I'm going to go right back to 1 Peter 3 and 10, and it says, "For whoever would love life and see good days must keep their tongue from evil and their lips from deceitful speech." Well, here's a challenge to me. I'm looking and thinking, number one, this is 2026, and this is the beginning, and we're at the 25th day of the first month. My thought is many people are ending fasts today. Some are completing fasts, and some of them maybe going to the weekend. But I want to know what ideas have been birthed in you. Now, this is going to be interesting because when I look at it from the different narrative and context of, well, why am I not fulfilling my purpose? Why do I think that I'm not where I should be, or I'm not progressing? So when I looked at that, I thought about, first of all, have we really found purpose? And if we haven't, we've got to look at finding purpose. The other part is, don't ignore the future. Because sometimes we're so trapped and we're so full of unanswered questions about our past that we have no time to think about our present. And I said it last evening when I heard the legendary Bishop Jakes say that he was so busy trying to take care of his past that he didn't guard his present. And so when I look at that text, I say, well, then how can I build my future if I'm not solely in my present? And that's something to think about. I'm going to give you a word this morning that I want you to do, and I don't want to go too far off the cliff with it, is the God part. The God part of you. Regardless of what you are to your family, what you are to your friends, what you are to your job, what you are to your career, what you are to the community, what you are to your siblings or your parents, caretakers, or whatever. I think that many have came to the Lord and received salvation, but have never came up with the concept of what is my God part. And what does that mean? God gave each human being some type of gift or talent or some type of idea to plant a seed into the earth. And the seed is planted different ways. It could be through a lot of different things. But when I look at why is my tongue deceitful? Why are my lips saying things they shouldn't say? Am I in line with my total purpose? Body, mind, and spirit. Am I in line with my total purpose, my total being? Because Paul wrote and said that I'm a dual being. There's a natural side of me and there's a spiritual side of me. And so God put each of us here to deposit something into humanity and the earth. And the question is, have you discovered your God part? Now, what happens is sometimes because of situations and because of the environment, people don't even discover it, understand it, feel it. Sometimes don't even want to be involved in it because we are seeking and we are working to survive and not thrive. And when we are functioning to survive and not thrive, we're missing a key component that was gifted to us by the Creator called creativity. And when I have no creativity, then I cannot create. So I wanted to take a different perspective on this morning. I know many are snuggled in and some are trying to get generators going, so I'm not going to hold you. But I want you to sincerely think about whoever would love life. And that's what, and I know some people are saying, well, you've been on this for a minute, because as I unravel it, I am seeing what is the missing part from us. We should be finding purpose. Do not ignore your future. Yes, you have a good job. Yes, you're close to retirement, but is that the complete sum of you? Is that your total being? Because you're made up of body, mind, and spirit. And I will say this again. God put you on earth to deposit something into the earth. And it not only shows through your gifts and talents, now allow me to reawaken you. It comes in your dreams and ideas. And many times we're stuck in survival and struggle that we don't understand opportunity. And so then here's the word that I want you to say. Many are afraid of information that's transformational. So what does that mean? God can give me an idea, but because I'm in a situation that I'm not comfortable with, I do not work and mature and develop that idea. See, because it's to some people's advantage to keep you in struggle, in discomfort, in confusion. And I'm going to show you a little later because we're going to do this now. Then we're going to do it again, I think, around 10. I think they said 10:20, but I'm going to try to do it around 10 because here's the part. Whoever would love life. So it says to me that when you come to earth, you have a choice. And I want you to reminisce for a minute how many people are taking away your opportunity to be a free thinker. You're bigger than your job. And what we're doing sometimes are reacting and living through the seeds that other people have already planted. And there is something that you and I must do, that we must plant something that will be from generation to generation, whether it's invention, whether it's improvement, whether it's establishing something. We are responsible for that. But if I'm always disturbed, if I'm always broken, if I'm always involved in everybody else's business, then I can never be involved in mine. Now, I'm going to give you this, and I don't know if I'll get to it in the second part. But I think I put up the capture today ideas. What are your ideas? And what is the God part of you? Now, where I come from, there are certain things that they do, but there is another part of me that is a God part that comes from gifted and talented. Now, one of the things that's a hindrance for this type is afraid of leaving the past. Only can identify with struggle, survival, and pain. Not using those as stepping stones to know how to prevent them, at least take them down 85%. Because with anything that you're trying to do, there are windows of learning, but we use terms of struggling, which sets us back, and not the opportunity for it to spring us forward. So we have to be this. Some people only identify with what they have accomplished, not what they have the opportunity to build or develop, because they're stuck in what I call the fog. They're stuck in, well, I don't know, and maybe if you pray. Okay, my question to people who pray, after you pray, what you going to do? You're waiting on an angel to come do it? You're waiting on God to come do it? He gave you all the tools you need. The problem is you lack confidence and you have fear of failure. Failure is a part of success. It's just a part you don't see at the moment because you see success. But any successful person and any successful idea will have points and pitfalls of failure. So I'm trying to encourage you. Ideas are important. Listen, there are people who will manipulate you to take your ideas to advance their setting, even though it's not their idea and their dream. Here's what I wrote. They can't see what they don't have the ability to seek, but it doesn't mean that they don't have the ability to steal. I'll say it again. They can't see because some people are so enamored in watching and stealing and deceiving other people through two things, sight and hearing. And when people can affect your sight, and it's human nature to what I see, I believe, and a lot of what you see is not truthful, it is false pretense. What you hear, there's no spiritual firewall to tell you to rightly divide what you're hearing, to go look for the facts. We take it, we run with it, and people poison us. Deceit has to come from somewhere. Tell me the last time Satan knocked on your door. I'm here to poison you. It comes through other sources, and people are the easiest source to use. You have to embrace failure. You have to know. Now, let me go back and say this. Well, that's tough to do because I do everything through my feelings and emotion. No. There's some things you should do through your intellect and intelligence, and you need to sit down and add up the costs to make sure that your emotions are not driving your future. Because emotions will never take responsibility for the actions that have taken place. I'll say it again. Emotions will never take the responsibility for the actions that have taken place. You have to. And what is accountable? Your intellect, your intelligence, and what is your plan? If your plan is only in your head, then somebody's coming to confuse you and you're going to forget the plan. This is why Habakkuk said, write the vision and make it plain. You don't have to expose the vision to everybody because everybody is not in a position to embrace your gifts from God. Because some people who haven't discovered what they have will steal what you have, and you'll be somewhere looking at God when you should have been protecting your future and guarding your present. So I'll say it again. They can't see. Some people don't have the ability to see. And why can't they see? They're watching you. They want to know what you're doing and what your ideas are. And what they do, they're listening and being obedient to others. And listen to this. Here's where we make a mistake. And not listening and discovering the God part of us. I'll say it again. Sometimes we get caught up in the listening. I said that earlier. Between your ears and what they're saying and their sound successful. You ought to have a spiritual firewall to tell you where's the substance and the facts. Because some people are just literally lying to you. So then you cannot protect yourself because there's no spiritual insight. No spiritual insight leads to no spiritual foresight. So then guess what? You just caught up in the slush. So here's what it says. Listening and being obedient to others. Well, I can't get myself going, so I'm going to just go with them. Okay. My question is, at the end of the day, how do you answer to God? Because it is He who has given you this gift. And it is He who has put the ideas in your head that you have to work out to a plan, and it becomes a strategy, and now you've got to create processes. Well, that just sounds like too much. I'd just rather go over here. Okay, that's fine. But you still got to see God at some point. And so you think you can take God a bucket of excuses? You think you can take God a bucket of they said and I heard and I wouldn't be it? No, there's a God part of you. And I received that this morning when I got in. It was like, no, it's something missing. And I had written it, but I had to highlight it and say, where's the God part of you? And so somebody said, well, I don't understand what you're saying. I'm going to tell you what they are. It comes in ideas. It exposes itself sometime in dreams. And then it turns into vision. But if you can't embrace it, then it passes through. It doesn't fight you to be successful. It comes in and check with you. But it is you who have to pursue it. It will not pursue you. Now, what happens in your spirit is your spirit becomes unrested. Your spirit becomes challenged because somehow you feel like there's another piece missing. And it is. How often do you pray for your business? How often do you pray to God for ideas? How often do you go and learn and strategize and see how others are doing it to add to what God has given you? There's nothing wrong with sharing, but it is something wrong with being controlled by others who don't want to share with you. Here's the thing. I said the God part. Here's the thing. It all starts with destroying and controlling your dreams. So let me say this because at one point I was saying to it. You do have an adversary. You do have people who do not have your best interests in heart. You do have people who hate your gifts. Yes, you've done nothing to them. You're trying to figure out what you did to them. You've done nothing to them. The problem is they're empty and you're half filled. I'll say it again. They're empty and you're half filled. The other part is the God part that you got to stay before God. This is why he said, he that hungers and thirsts. And so it's not only about righteousness, it's about doing the right things by the gifts that God has given you. And so we think we're in a comfort zone because we got a 401k, we have a retirement, a Roth IRA, and we think that we work for a company that we can retire with. Well, just go look at the numbers today and see where people are. My question then becomes, it all starts, and this is what people do when they start to sift. When the Lord spoke to Peter, he said, Simon, Simon, the adversary has desired to sift you. Jesus doesn't overthrow you. Little by little, breaks down your walls of spiritual growth. And if they can break down your walls and find a crack, now they can come in and influence the direction that God has you to go. So you'd rather follow them than follow God. And you have to stay before God. It can't be just because mama's sick. It can't be because sister's sick. It can't be because, your dog is missing. It has to be because there's passion for the God part of you. So now, here's the thing. One of the things when it says, and I'll go back up here and read it for those who are just joining, whoever would love life. Well, why wouldn't I love life? You know why I wouldn't love life? Because it's simple. Some people are lowering my expectations of life. There are people who lower your expectations and make it difficult for you to achieve some things because they don't want you to have it. There's some people that hate your next step. They don't want you to have it because they're not there because they're gifted. They're there because they deceive. And God has gifted you because they had a choice too. They had a choice to do it right. They had a choice to follow God, but they didn't like the place that they were put on the bus. Everybody can't be the driver, and everybody can't sit in the front seat, but everybody don't belong in the back seat. And so some people are unhappy because of their lack of communication with God. So they will come along and disrupt yours. And the first thing they do is lower your personal expectation of life. And then what they do is take control and influence through stress and deceit. I'll say it again. They lower your expectations by attacking you physically. And it doesn't matter. It's no particular ethnicity that does it. No. It's anybody. It can be your neighbor. It can be your family. People will lower your expectation. Can I give you a couple of some? Oh, why would you want to do that? Or what is that? Who do you think you are? Well, why would you be looking over there? And why would you? Aren't you happy where you are? Sounds familiar? It is. They're there to deceive you. So then what they do is lower your expectations. So then you have no expectations of you. Now, let me take this a step farther because I see a lot of you chiming in. When they lower your expectation, it lowers your expectation of God. So you kind of erase the God part. It lowers your expectations for your siblings, for your family, for your children. So what they're doing is dialing your legacy and destiny back. Because if they can lower you, remember, you're the head and not the tail. And so if they can lower you, then you don't set the standard you should do. Because remember, hearing and sight are critical to the strength, but it also can be weakened if it's not understood. So be aware of people lowering your expectations by controlling influence through stress and deceit. Next, I'm going to give you this. And look like some of you all are just waking up, and I am like, okay, I've got about 3 minutes here. I'll give you this one. I want you to take the last week of January and look for the decoys or the traps that people and maybe influencers are setting for you. Are you aware of what they say? Are you aware of what they do? Are you aware how they speak to you? Are you aware how they present things? Are you aware of the story they're reading you? Is it fact or fiction? Are you aware? So now, look out for the decoys, because sometimes you're so pumped and you're so motivated and you're so ready to get out here and you're ready to do it and you feel good and you can't get past the trap of deceit. What does that mean? Verify, qualify. Make sure you're functioning with the facts and the substance and not the lies and the deceit. What is that? Quit being a carrier. Quit being a carrier. What does that mean? I heard they said, well, they talk about doing this. Then now you are infected with the disease of deception. Talking negative is functioning with the disease of deception. Now, here's where some people fall out with me, is because I don't buy the tears. Yes, you can be hurt. I cried. Y'all watch me. Many of you see me cry. A grown man, 64 years old, just out here just full of, but that's where I was. But here's what I refuse to do. I don't kneel to deceit. I don't kneel to manipulation. I cry because I'm human, but I'm determined because I got a God part. So yes, it's okay to show that you're human, but it's not okay to stop. So yeah, you may see me cry. I may cry, hopefully not today. It's cold too. We frozen. That's my human side. But I depend on my God side. And the way I depend on that is through his words. So when I read his word, there's something in his word on a continuous basis that you will find or stumble across that will speak directly to you. And what it's saying is get up. Take charge. Your dreams are bigger than this moment. Write your ideas down. Think and pray and think and read God's word and ask God to break it out to you so you can write the vision and write the process and make it plain. There's no excuses for failure because this year I'm going to give it to you. All the cushiony stuff, that's wonderful. I'm not mad at anybody. Thank God we need it. But I want you to be accountable to the God part of you. God has called you, and some people are blessed. And part of manipulation is seeing that I'm blessed and thinking I'm there, and you're not there yet because it's not over. So I hope this is making sense. When I come back, I'm going to talk about a few things that people do about stealing your ideas. Now, I'm going to give you something, and maybe it'll stir you up and make you think. There's a thing that I realized yesterday when I was looking and had a moment. It's called cracking the code. And I'm just going to give you a brief thing. I guess some will call it a teaser. When you're praying and you're asking God and you're seeking God, have you asked him to help you crack the code? In military, they would call it decoding. So now it's all laid out before you. So then it's very rare that someone can trick you or deceive you because you are cracking the code, which means you're able to identify the strengths, the weaknesses, the deceit, and the seed. When you get the seed, and God gives you the vision to do right by the seed, you have just now cracked the code. And so I have some steps with that. I don't know if I'll share it in the next opportunity because I think I'm going to deal with stealing ideas. I don't know, but that's where I'm trying to go. And show you how people have stolen things that were yours, that God gave to you, but you opened your mouth. That's why I said, whoever would love life. I have learned the hard way that sometimes you've got to keep your tongue. Because people will crush you with it and go right behind your back and do what you told them that they didn't even know how to do. And you sitting there waiting on an angel to bring you yours when you spoke yours when you were speaking, you didn't put it into existence because you gave it to a deceitful person. And so many times, companies and people are stealing your ideas. And I said in the first part, there's a God part of you. And so I'm going to talk about how ideas are stolen when we come back together. So for those who are, please like, share, and post, and share with someone and say, hey, you know what? You need to be on at 10 a.m. I will come back. Hopefully I've said something to stir you make you feel. But there is a God part of you. And when you start discovering that God part, now you got to crack the code. God bless you. I'll see you at 10 a.m. Stay warm.